Okay, Tomas, welcome to October.
It's October.
And you know what a new month means?
A new challenge.
New challenge. So, obviously, it's October. There's really only one option.
Halloween.
Yep.
I think we're going to start with a skull base. Since I have a lot of skull bases, we'll start with one of the skull bases and we'll make something that'll keep this from being a 13-hour video. So I have this skull base. It's kind of asymmetrical and weird. So where are you? Frame. Boop. There we go. So we'll start with this guy. And I like this back I never really finished or did anything with, so we'll have this. All right. So I know this is not symmetrical, but the ring itself is sort of symmetrical, so I think we can get away with using symmetry here at the beginning. And let's make our brush size just a little bigger. So why do you love October so much?
I like things that are sort of dark and spooky. My wife and I got married on Halloween because it's our favorite time of year.
Nice.
Yep.
Are you a horror movie fan?
Yeah.
So what kind of horror movies do you like? Do you like psychological horror movies? You like slasher films?
I like the ones that are based on a traditional view of ghosts and demons and spooky stuff, but doesn't become so absurd that it's laughable. I mean, they're all kind of laughable, I suppose, but yeah, I mean, I don't like killing for the sake of killing.
Right.
I like it to be paranormal in some way.
Sure. I agree with you there. I've never been a big slasher, for slasher's sake, movie fan.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the early Freddy Krueger ones were scary because just the concepts of dream and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I thought they were actually quite interesting.
Yeah.
Because, you know, like Michael Myers or whatever, what are they, or Halloween and Friday the 13th. Yeah, you know, there just comes a point when the ever-walking, slow-walking zombie that magically appears behind you every time teenagers drink beer. I just thought it was a little strange.
Yeah, and they're on their, 13th or whatever version of it is about to come out. A new sequel is.
Is there? Oh, I didn't even know that.
Horizon, yeah.
I've always liked Halloween. That's one thing about the East Coast and Halloween that I just have never had the experience once I moved out here, is going pumpkin hunting.
Pumpkin hunting?
Well, you know, going to pick your pumpkins out.
Yes, I've never heard it referred to as hunting.
Well, I was hunting for a pumpkin, you know. They run really quick if you don't pay attention.
Right.
They're tough to catch, especially when you're like 4.5 feet tall, you know.
Uh-huh.
Pumpkins are big.
Very round. They can roll real fast.
They are. They're sneaky little buggers. But it was great going to the pumpkin farms, and the one thing that they always had is they had, you know, the mulled apple cider, and it was always hot. You know, they'd always have it, like, while you're hunting around, you'd always get hot apple cider, and you know, you'd hunt, and it was always cold, and, you know, the seasons really were just changing, and so everything was really orange and cool. That doesn't happen out here.
Mm-hmm.
We don't get that season change. I mean, up here we get a slight season change, but there's some, you know, colored transition, but it's not like the East Coast by any means. Okay, so those are pretty good shape. I don't know if I think I want them to be wider out here. Like they seem to conform to the head a little too closely. Mm-hmm. And I don't want them to appear to conform to the head so closely.
Very, very precise way of saying it.
Right? I know that's a stretch, but I think that might be an abstract concept we can all get around. All right, that's getting there. So now I want to make a texture for these horns. Don't you think that looks better? It sort of breaks the head a little.
Yeah. Break that head.
Break that head. I want to go home. All right. No one got my Rasta references. It's fine. Peter Tosh, one of my heroes. All right. So do you know how we are going to make these patterns on the horn?
Extractor.
Yay! Look at you go. All right, so we're going to stretch this out a little. So we're going to try to get these to be square-ish at least. And so instead of... that'll be long enough. So if we're like this and this isn't enough length for the pattern, we would have divided everybody again and then shrunk it. Or stretched it, however it worked out, to them to be squares. But I think this will be fine. Cute. Divide. All right. 8 million. There we go. That should be fine. Now I'm going to grab rake and I'm just going to lay down. We're going to turn rake down a lot. And I'm just going to lay in some rhythm that I can follow. Because I don't want these to be just totally straight lines. I want them to kind of weave a little bit. And rake will allow me to kind of lay that pattern in. And that's just to give it sort of natural growth lines. Because very rarely are things just straight. And I think that gives us a little bit of variety here. And a rhythm to follow. So now, I'm going to come in and I'm going to take twist. And I'm going to kind of lay in some twists.
And why do you prefer making your extractor pattern on a flat surface versus just doing it on a section of the horn and copying it from there?
Because this way it's consistent and you don't get arching patterns, right? And normally that makes for a cleaner pattern. And because I'm going to be doing the pattern in, I'm not going to try to get the whole horn. You know, there are those little ridges. I'm going to try to do a ridge at a time. So they have similar patterns, but they're distinctly ridgy differently. Because that's going to allow me to push that shape and feel. And then I'll probably go back over this on the horns. I'm guessing that this is the pattern I want. I'm just making stuff up. I didn't really think this out well. So this also gives me a little bit easier way of changing my patterns if I like them or not. Because I'm actually now seeing this and I'm thinking I might actually want these to be a little bit more like scales than chatter. So I'm going to duplicate this one. I'm going to do this one, and we are going to take it all the way back to here. Let's see if we can use one of the slash tools. Slash. Because I want some directionality. All right. I wish it wasn't round, but this will give us at least a start here.
Looks like gills.
Yep. Sort of the, little, because you know how a lot of the horns have those growth ridges.
Mm-hmm.
So I just figure we'll start with that. And then we'll come in and give them a little texture or something. Haven't really thought about horns in a long time. I could just look up a texture, but that's okay. All right, so now we have this. We are going to go, oh no, don't mess with the move brush. We've got to go to extractor. Okay. I'm going to start right below this one and go right to the end of that one. Okay. So hit G.
You gonna do it with symmetry on? Does it matter?
I don't know that it does, but I'm not going to take the chance. We're going to start right below that. And we're going to end. But it makes that pretty quick and easy. I know technically these probably wouldn't grow at different sizes, huh? Well, then you know what we have to do, I think, is because this brush is running down the center. Well, that doesn't look bad, does it? And then here, oh. That works out okay. Okay. Fine, we'll go with that. Looks great. Less filling. No, that makes them square on top. I hate that.
Oh, I was gonna say the same thing. Hate it.
Horrible.
Terrible.
It is. It's horrible. So what do? We go back to here. I make my brush smaller. And I capture one ridge. So we go G. Alrighty, that doesn't look bad. But here, let's make him angrier. Grr. Why are you so angry? Because these horns are growing into my eyes. Okay, that's looking pretty good. No complaints there. Let's take SK Trim Polish and kind of knock some of this back in so it has some sort of logic. Okay. So do we put an eyeball or something on his forehead? A mouth doing kissy faces?
Well, maybe not that.
Looking okay. Change that line. He's looking a little spooky. Spooky. And so now, what to do here? Let's come back and sort of futz with this a bit. Let us do a quick smooth here. And now that we're trying to be a little spookier, this was just geometric. This wasn't, when I first thought of this, I wasn't thinking of something spooky. So let us change that. And we're going to make the spooky. Spooky. Can't you already feel the spookiness? Hear that ghost truck? So even when I'm putting detail in this, right, this is still staying behind that strike plate, right? And that allows us to do detail like this because it's not going to come into contact with hard surfaces. So if you're going to put, especially because I'm going to put a lot of detail in this now, make sure that it's below the strike plate so it doesn't get crushed. Because there's nothing worse. It's better to put less detail in than to put high detail in and have it get lost really quickly in the ring's life or the piece of jewelry's life. It really frustrates clients. They get very upset because often if you're putting detail in it, they're going to buy it for some detail, right? They're going to see a face and go, oh, I just love that face, or oh, you know, did that. So you want to make sure that everything is behind that strike plate if you're going to be doing detail on any of these things. I got it. And look at that, I found a place for kitten ears.
You did it.
Right. That's important stuff. Because I know you were like, okay, it's a kitten, but where are his ears?
And now I'm thinking, where does eyes go?
Oh, they're there. I was thinking of something a little more Cthulhu-y when I started, but then it just screamed kitten.
As Cthulhu often does.
Exactly, which is a very, very common transition. So I have changed my ways, accepted the reality of where the part was going. And now it's a black kitten with some square thing in the center of its face. I don't even know what that is. We're going to call it a dog stamp.
Well, it's Halloween, so it's wearing a mask.
Ah, there we go. All right, we ready for a turnaround here? Okay, so that was my submission to the Halloween challenge. And do your own sculpt, participate, and we'll all look at it and laugh at each other's work. It's a joy. It's good fun. Post your pictures on Instagram under the hashtag ZBJW Spooky, and we'll look at these at the end of the month and when we announce next month's challenge.
So now let's look at some of the pieces that were submitted for last month's fall foliage challenge.
Woo!
And we're going to show just a few of our favorites. So this piece was submitted by Miko, who I guess is not very miniatures on Instagram, where the left side of this is a sculpt, which you've seen quite a number of times. He submitted it to a few of our Monday critique sessions. And on the right side is a 3D printed version.
Olga did that for him.
Yep, Olga was very nice to do that for him.
No, I think he did a really good job of, taking some of the suggestions we had and being able to guide the eye with the texture. So less texture on the outer ring and, less texture on the inner stuff, thus making that a focus. It'd be cool to see this in metal. It'll be nice when he does it.
Yeah, when it gets cast.
Yeah. And it has leaves, thus the foliage, right? Foliage.
Yeah, I like the shape of the leaves on the back.
Yeah.
It's a nice touch.
Yeah, originally he had them as detailed or, pretty close to as detailed. And it's nice that he broke them down into just some nice shapes. I think it really, it works well. Yeah. Well, I know that you are now Eric's favorite student. Eric, and I are both actually very big ant fans. Henry doesn't understand why we're such big ant fans, but they're very cool.
Why would you say that?
Well,
I think insects are fascinating and they should stay the hell out of my house.
I rest my case. To be fair, they should stay the hell out of your house. Your bark looks nice. I like your bark. And your ants are fun. And what's nice about the ants, a lot of people when they're doing things like this are drawn into making things very photorealistic, Eric. But, you have to weigh out, will it show up with, what is the story I'm trying to tell here? And I think actually you did a very good job of exaggerating like the joints and stuff where, and obviously the legs have to be a little thicker and things like that. And I think you did a good job of it. And they're fun. They have nice rhythm and 2 thumbs up. That's a good one.
Yeah.
I love acorns. I'm a big acorn geek. I like that. Are there other pictures? Is it a leaf? It looks like leaves.
Oh, this is their first and only Instagram post.
Awesome. You go, girl. No, it looks good. 2 things. One, I would probably try to make the bale part of the plant, just to give it continuity. And I would probably rough up that edge just so it doesn't look like it's been cut off. But all in all, it makes a really nice, it's a cool piece. It's a lot of fun. I like it.
Agreed.
Very nice.
Yeah, it's good detail on the leaves and a very natural flow along the surface.
Yeah, and they're unique too. It's not just, oh, I've got a leaf model. I think they're fun and well thought out. And the patterns are nice. Like you said, the organics are good. Very nice. I like them. I like how they go back to the beads at the bimetal point. I'm assuming it's, you know,
Silver gold.
yeah. Very cool. And all the points are pointing out, so that's nice. I think that would be a really good hollowware piece where the leaves are die stamped or hammered. You know, make a mold or a striking plate or something, so they were really thin. And the other thing is that stone is big. That's probably like
Huge.
60 millimeters. That's big stone. So that'd be heavy, but I like it if you were actually intending to have a 60 millimeter stone there. That's exciting.
Yeah.
Very cool. Very nice.
Oh, and they're not flat.
No, they have some
There's
dimensionality.
some real depth there.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. It'd be nice if they were die stamped into or hammered into form.
Mm-hmm.
It'd be really cool if they moved. I wonder if they move. Like if the stems were rigid and they had like a little bit of movement in the leaves.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool. Be sure to like and subscribe and hit the little bell if you want notifications, because it's really important to us that you do that. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye. Ooh, spooky outro.
Jump scare.
Bye.